Hello everyone. AP Classroom has just released a testing guide with a couple of updates and I wanted to go through them via video. I will send you the direct links as well to it so you can kind of go through it at your own pace. But kind of as I scroll through, there are some resources available at the College Board website, but some of the things that I'm going to go through are pieces of the testing guide, exam day checklist, which will be linked to you as well, stuff that you'll need. There is a demo. From what I'm told, it's starting to be available on May 4th and so on. So here we go. About your ticket. So you are going to get an e-ticket by email 2 days before the test. So for AP Biology, for example, our test is May 18th. So that means you should get an e-ticket on May 16th. And then on the actual test day, you'll need that code to check into your exam. So you'll get a ticket for each exam you're registered for. So therefore, if you're taking multiple AP tests, even if they're on the same day, you're going to get different tickets. If for some reason you don't get the email, you can actually see it also through your specific AP account. So keep that in mind. I will remind you also. It's specific to you as a person, so no one can switch codes. You should not share your ticket with anyone. In this case, just kind of scrolling through, you're also going to need your AP ID. So kind of looking through here, but this is what your ticket will physically look like when you get that email. It will be valid for the specific exam schedule. So again, biology is May 18th at 1 p.m. If for some reason you are unable to actually take the test on May 18th at 1 p.m., then don't use your ticket. You'll automatically get a different ticket to make up in June. However, if you do kind of log in with the one that you're given, then it's assumed that you're taking the test. So if you for some reason there's a scheduling conflict or something, don't use the ticket and you'll be automatically rescheduled. So for makeup dates, if you do have to actually make up the exam, AP Biology would be on Wednesday, June 3rd at 3 p.m. So again, you shouldn't be doing this unless there's some kind of extenuating circumstances, but you would then get a makeup ticket in your email 2 days before. We are in Central Time, so again, 1 p.m. on May 18th is when our particular test is. Some other things to expect, even though it's in a computer format that is shortened and only containing FRQs, we have been told that it's not more difficult at all to get a 3, a 4, or a 5. The hard questions oftentimes require you to get fewer points to get a 3, 4, and 5. So you don't necessarily have to get a question entirely correct to get a 4 or a 5. And that's going to stay consistent this year too. There is no curve, so it's not to say that they have a certain number of individuals in the country or world who can get a 3, a 4, or a 5. It's basically if you write down enough to get the points, then that is the score that you are going to get. One kind of key piece I think is also important. Don't worry if you don't complete all the parts of a question. So as you guys have seen in a lot of the practice that we do, some of the FRQs have kind of an A, a B, a C, a D, and even sometimes within that, there might be 2 pieces to A and 2 pieces to B, and so on. So please make sure when you get to that 5-minute window at the end that you upload your picture or make sure that you hit submit. You want to answer as many pieces of a question as you can, but you can still get a 5 even if you don't necessarily answer an entire question. You just need to make sure you submit whatever elements you've done. Please make sure that you have a good testing environment, but if for some crazy reason you guys end up getting less than a 3 and I am then able to read over your answers, because I will be able to read over your answers. They're going to send them to all teachers in the summer. And if I read over it and I'm like, oh my goodness, this person should have gotten a 3 or better, I can, I guess, petition to have your answer looked at again to get a 3 or better. There's a couple of different ways in which the questions can be viewed by you. They can be seen in Chrome. You are going to type or write your response outside of whatever browser the questions are in. So what you can end up doing is you can copy and paste a typed response, like from a Google Doc or something. You can go in and attach a document like a Google Doc, or you can write and then attach a photo, one or more, of a handwritten response. So kind of diving deeper in terms of option 1, you can copy and paste a typed response and hit submit. So if you have a Google document open, you can be typing, and then you will take that when the timer hits 5 minutes or less, you will copy and paste and hit submit. Secondly, you can basically do the same thing, except you can type in a Google Doc and then save it as a doc or a PDF or something, and then upload that as a text file. It might take 30 more seconds, but you can do it that way. And then option 3 is if you're more of a handwriting person, you can do that, take a photo, like a lot of you did with your graphs, and then submit it that way too. We don't really fit any of these requirements. So in this case, the exam screen will guide you step by step on test day. So as soon as you click your e-ticket, you will navigate to the test, and only the information from the preceding slides would be there. Things can happen. So just make sure that you check your technology ahead of time. That's why I'm kind of having you do some extended practice. So things that you're going to want to do. Hopefully you're reviewing the content. That's really good. Make sure that your Chromebooks are fully functional. Please, please, please practice submitting responses. So there will be a demo for you to kind of work through on May 4th. A lot of the questions that are FRQ that I have opened up to you already in Classroom allow you to do that now. So just kind of practice to make sure that you can. You might need to gather additional materials. So I know for AP Biology, you're going to need the formula sheet on your own. So you can download it and have it in a different computer window. You can print it. You can write down just the formulas that you might need, whatever that may be. But I've been told that you're going to need to get that piece on your own. And then confirm your e-ticket email. So you can go into the AP Classroom under My Account and double check that they have your email to send you the ticket. You can kind of review your contact info and update anything you might need to update. Choose what device you want to do it on. I'm hoping that all of you are doing it on a laptop. Doing it on a phone seems super scary. You're going to want to prepare your documents for typing. So this is something that I would recommend also. So figure out what you're going to use. In this case, I'm imagining it's going to be Google Docs or a written piece of paper. Before test day, so I was just kind of reading over this one. You don't really need to know that piece, but before test day, you can prepare your doc already. So like you don't have to cut out time of your free response by making a Google Doc and renaming it and everything. So you can actually set one up where it has your APID number and your initials at the top and saving it in some kind of folder so that you can easily find it for yourself. So that way it's there and ready to go. For other exams that have 2 questions, blah, blah, blah. So here's an example of how you might want to do yours, and they used AP Bio as that example. So you're going to have one that's going to be specific to question 1 and one that's going to be specific to question 2. So just kind of giving you some conventions there. Before test day, if you're going to do it on paper, you can have up to 5 pages for each question. So if you do want to use paper, you can number them 1 to 5, and you can put your initials and AP ID at the top. Here is the link to the actual demo. Let me double check if you can put, let's see what it looks like. Here we go. You're going to enter your specific ID and hit continue, and then it'll kind of walk you through what that demo looks like. So please take some time to go through and do that for sure. What you're going to need on the actual exam day, your e-ticket, your checklist, which I will show you in a moment, your laptop, Chrome. You are allowed to again have your Google Doc open. You are allowed to pretty much use whatever notes you want, or textbooks or other previous assignments. You cannot actually talk to another human, but that's what you need. For biology, it says you will need your formula sheet. So it looks like that's not something allowed, but you're going to need it. So whether you download it and have it on your computer or print it, that's your choice. I will send it to you to make sure that you have it. There's tons and tons of notes that have been provided to you throughout the year. So just kind of utilize those. They do also say that internet searches at this point will waste your time, and also could be considered essentially plagiarism if you copy from websites or other social media. All right, so then there's also a checklist. I will send that out to you, and that is this thing right here. So the first thing is figuring out your ID. Then you're gonna have the name of your exam, date, all of that stuff. And then there's kind of a checklist of things for you to go through just so that you understand what to do before, during, and after. So you can look over that at your own pace. The timing that is recommended is about 30 minutes before the test. You are going to check in. So you're going to use that ticket that you've gotten. And we are over here on the right. I was looking. This is a 1-question exam. We are a 2-question exam. So still 30 minutes before, you're going to check in, use that ticket, kind of verify your identity, and then you wait. So get in, get settled, and then once the exam starts, it will start automatically. So that's important to know. Like, you're not going to have to click a button. It'll just have it and push it out to everybody who's kind of waiting. So question 1 will appear. You are going to have 25 minutes to read the question, develop a response. Then they will give you 5 minutes at the end there. That it'll be a total of a 30-minute window, and the last 5 minutes is when you're expected to submit your response, as well as wait for question 2. And then you'll be given kind of 30 minutes, 20 minutes, the first 15 of which you are going to create your answer, and then the last 5 you are going to upload your response. So allow yourself about 30 minutes before, if you can, to really just get in there and wait. They have some kind of super secret technology that will apparently catch you if you attempt to cheat or do anything. And then here they just kind of show you how you check in. You put in your code, you hit continue, and then there'll be a countdown clock for when your test will begin. They do ask you that if it is broken down into multiple pieces, just for ease, to label it A, B, C, D. Hopefully all of you have been doing that all year, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it just helps to organize everything. You can use spell check and grammar check, but it doesn't really help. One key thing here I noticed is that if you have Grammarly on your Chromebook, you will need to disable it. Otherwise, for whatever reason, the exam won't function. So for anyone who has Grammarly, please disable. There might be other apps too, but I'm not aware of them at this time. Right now, they are just articulating Grammarly. You can't move on to the second question until the time for the first question has elapsed. So even if you finish the first one and still have time left over, you need to wait because everybody starts the second question at the same time. You'll have a clock and then it will turn red when you hit that 5-minute point. Keep in mind too that, again, you don't necessarily need to finish the entire question in order to get those high level scores. So submitting an unfinished response is better than running out of time and then not being able to submit a response at all. And then there's a couple of slides here to just kind of show you how that works. So if you're uploading a file, if you're attaching a photo, if you're copying and pasting, it seems like that would be the fastest. I don't know. Maybe not. Check it out in the demo. Things could potentially go wrong. If apparently you get locked out or it crashes or you temporarily lose something, you can click your exam e-ticket again to get back to the exam. You can request a makeup if you feel that you were then not provided enough time to complete the test. During the exam, don't refresh your browser or hit the back arrow. Apparently that might cause some craziness to happen. Scores are still going to be on a 1 to 5. And hopefully your scores will be back in mid-July. So they're trying to get them back to you as soon as possible. By June 20th, you are to go in and say which schools you might want your answers sent to or your score. After June 20th, it's a $15 fee. So just keep that in mind. I think that's about it. That is the last slide. So I will push this out to you. You can read it at your own pace. I thought it would just be easier if I kind of went through it for you. Again, I will also send you this checklist so that you have it. They also have a YouTube playlist, which I will send, that kind of goes through a couple of elements in addition to all the review videos that they have specifically for AP Biology. So I hope you found this helpful. Thanks.